Welcome chemistry students, it's me Mr. Cheney with another brilliant tutorial. This one has to do with the Energy Skate Park basics on the PhET lab. And this is a continuation of our lesson on the types of energy that we've been talking about, both potential energy and kinetic energy. So our definitions for those: kinetic energy, energy of motion, and potential energy was the energy stored in an object based on its position. Okay, so now that we've reviewed the basic definitions of those two things, now we're going to put those into action using a simulation of a skate park. So you'll open up your Google Slides. You'll see that there are 5 total slides that we will be manipulating and putting things on. These bar graphs, you can copy, paste, or just drag them over and resize and that sort of thing. So you're going to go over to Clever, you're going to go to Teacher Pages, go to My Page, and open up the PhET lab. And you'll search for Skate Park. There will be 2. The one that you want is Skate Park Basics, and we'll press play. Alright, so we're going to start with Intro, and we have 3 tracks. We have the U track, and then we have the L track, and we have the W track at the end. So we're going to be making some guesses on different points on that. So let's start with the U track. And so you want to turn on the bar graph and the grid and the speed so that we can make comparisons on those. And keep mass the same. We're going to be using slow motion, we're going to be using pause and play, and then we can go incrementally 1 frame at a time if we need to. So on slide number 1, we're going to test out the high point. And we're going to go do that with the U track. And once you've placed your bars, once we've figured those out, you want to answer the question to the right there. Describe what you are seeing in terms of kinetic energy, potential energy, and speed. So you're just kind of basically, in your own words, saying what you see. So there's 0 kinetic energy or all kinetic energy, so that's how you're answering those questions. So we put our skateboarder up at the high point, and we're going to use the pause button as it comes down, or actually to put it at its high point. So that's what the high point looks like. So you can see that there's little to no speed, the potential energy is at its highest, there's 0 kinetic energy, and since there's only potential, the total and potential will equal each other. So going back to our slide, we're going to represent that ourselves on the slide. So potential is blue, kinetic is green, and the total is like that pukey yellow orange color. So we know that potential and total are the same, so we're going to place those there, and then we're going to answer that question to the right. Slide number 2, we're going to be representing the low point. So we'll go back to the skate park, and we will restart the skater and put on our bar graph and speed and grid and all that good stuff again. We'll place the skater up at the top, and then we need to get the low point. So using the pause button and using the advanced button for 1 frame, we're going to be able to figure that out. So right now we know that at the low point we are at kinetic, so the speed is much higher because that's going to be gravity pulling us down. And so kinetic is 100%, potential is 0, and since there's only kinetic and total are the same. So now it's your job to go to slides 3 and 4 and do the same thing for the L-shaped tracks. So you're going to do high point for the L-shaped track, you're going to do low point for the L-shaped track with all those bar graphs. Now, at the very end, slide 5 is where we do the W track, and there are going to be several points, so A, B, C, D, and E, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they're labeled on your slide as A, B, C, D, E. So what you're going to be doing is actually guessing these. You want to guess with your bar graphs up there, put those there, what you think they're going to be. So you can see in the arrow there that you can copy paste bar shapes for each letter. So you're going to need to do that so you can fill all of these charts. So remember, Control C for copy, Control V for paste. So A we've already done. We know high point, so we could probably guess that pretty well. We know B is a low point. We should probably be able to guess that pretty well because we already did it in those previous slides. And E is just another version of high point. So A, B, and E we kind of already know. It's C and D where we're going to actually make our recommendation or actual guesses. So if your bar chart goes behind, just do Control up arrow until you see your bar chart again. So you can hold down Control, do the up arrow repeatedly till you see your bar chart. And so we're going to be placing these over here. And on C, you can see that it's halfway down the highest point, so we're not going to have the same level of kinetic and potential as we did with high point and low point. So we're making a guess on whether kinetic and potential are going to be like exactly the same and adding up to total energy, or if there's going to be a slight variance on kinetic being more than potential. That's going to be up to you and your guess. And then once we do the guess, we will actually go find out what those energy levels are at the actual park. So I've made my guess here. Don't know if it's a good guess or not, so I'm just saying kinetic and potential are going to be exactly the same, adding up to total energy. And so let's go test it out and compare it with our guess. So we put the skater at the high point, which was point A. I'm going to press play, make sure it's in slow motion, and I'm going to pause it. Oh, but that was too much. I could put these levels, but it wasn't exactly at the apex where we wanted it. So I'm going to try again and use this advanced one frame feature so that we can get a better measurement, more accurate measurement. So now my skater is back up to the high point, and I'm going to pause right here, and then I'm going to advance so I can get most accurate. So there he is at the top of that middle hill, and these are the true measurements. So it looks like there's a little more kinetic energy than potential, obviously, because he's still moving, but there's potential to go down this next hill, and it's going to be for that total. So that's what you hopefully guessed. If not, you can put the right answers in your guesses. And you're going to do that for point D as well. And that should be pretty good for this lab. So once you have slides 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 finished with all bar charts, then you can turn that in and you will have been successful. I will be around in class helping out as we go. See you back in class.